Hello everyone, welcome to today's episode of Lucia Craft. I'm your host Lucia. Today we will be focusing on the topic China in springtime, sharing opportunities with the world. It's my great honor to have our guests from Denmark, Finland and Sweden. They are Jan Brony, the National Chair and South China Chair of the Danish Chamber of Commerce in China. Ulla Nurmeniemi, Vice Chair of the Finnish Chamber of Commerce in China. Peter Lindh-Vaneros, Chairman of the Swedish Chamber of Commerce in China, and Mats Habon, former Chairman of the Swedish Chamber of Commerce in China and former President of the EU Chamber of Commerce in China. A warm welcome to all my guests. According to the government work report in this year's two sessions, China is aiming for an economic growth rate of around 5% in 2025, the same as the target in last year. Shen Haixiong, president of China Media Group, stated that China's 5% GDP growth rate target for 2025 has drawn global attention and contributed to world stability, and that China's confidence injects stability into global development. What are our guests' views? Let's hear from them.
I think this is what the Chinese government means when they talk about new quality productive forces or new quality growth. And this is something that we support. And in that environment, we as a company want to take market shares, China 5, China 6. Ultimately, then we find a new equilibrium point, and then the market increases with GDP growth. That's the projection we have for the future.
The number of inbound trips made by foreigners to China under the country's visa-free policy in 2024 doubled compared with the previous year. This indicates that China's expanded visa-free policy and related measures promoting greater openness to the world are yielding benefits and winning recognition from travelers globally. According to our guests, China's visa-free entry policy will further promote people-to-people exchanges and boost economic and trade cooperation. Let's listen to their insights.
The visa-free and the accessibility of business people coming to China, I think it's definitely a big step in the right direction. And you can easily come and go, and 15 days is more than enough for most people to come and put the footprint, make the decisions and go again.
China has introduced a series of visa-free entry and transit policies providing foreign nationals with greater convenience to visit the country and demonstrating its unswerving determination and commitment to opening up. In the context of invest in China, I raised the question of whether China's high-level opening up will attract more foreign companies, especially European ones, to focus on the Chinese market. What are their views? Let's take a listen.
One of the things I enjoy in China is the speed from decision to action. When you decide something, you do it. And that goes in the whole society, and that's why I think we can see the change is going so fast. And we were here, started here 23 years ago. And this we are doing as well. Also developing here, selling here. Even though most of our production is export, we are starting to increase more in the Chinese and Asian markets.
We have approximately 240 member companies here in China, and most of them have been members of the Chamber for a long time, but we continually get new members as well. So we act as an important channel for Swedish business in China since many years ago. In trade, I think we've seen a tremendous development over the years. I mean, it's been growing on both sides, both Swedish exports into China as well as Chinese exports into Sweden. It's a very dynamic trade relationship.
During the interview, the guests also shared their advices for new entrants.
In China, you need patience. It takes a long time to develop business in a continent-sized country like China. So when you go into China, you need to be prepared to see this as a long-term investment. If you do that, I think you will be successful.
The Chinese market is, of course, a huge market. It's very complex, and it's important to have a very clear strategy, what part of that market that you want to aim for. And it's, of course, very important also to choose the right partners. In China, there are so many different companies, and with different competences, so, and also different regions. So it's important to choose the right place to be as well as the right partners. But if you do, there's a lot of opportunities in the Chinese market.
In recent years, China has vigorously developed clean energy and promoted the green and low-carbon transformation of development modes around the goals of carbon neutrality and carbon peak. The guests highly praised China's achievements in the fields of clean energy, technology and innovation, sustainable transportation, and so on. Let's take a listen.
China is the leader in green technologies. Talk about wind, solar power, electric vehicles, batteries, all the software that is regulating how we use energy. It's very impressive. So for us, China has become not only an important market, but also an important source of new technologies that we can incorporate into our products for China, but also for global use. So this is the importance of China, how China has developed. China is attractive also because it has fantastic supply chains. But what makes China now even more attractive and important to foreign companies is that China has become one of the global innovation centers.
And actually we have this very unique system with China, this joint innovation funding projects that are funded by China Ministry of Science and Technology and Business Finland. And it means that if a Chinese company want to enroll this program and they have their own technology and Finnish company want to partner with them in this program, they do a joint plan what they are doing together to innovate something new. Both government give the 50% of their expenses as a fund, and every year there is topics in which field you can apply this. And at the moment there are two very prominent topics. One is the new energy, and one is the healthcare technology.
We see a lot of innovation in sustainability, but of course also in the pharmaceutical and the medtech field. There's also a lot of innovation, cooperation. The same goes for robotics. One of our members have recently almost tripled their robotics factory here in China. There's a lot of research going into that. And I would also say in the consumer field, we have two our large consumer and retail companies here, very active in China.
I can just see all the green working groups in the strategic partnership Denmark have with China is green. It's maritime, it's water, it's wastewater, it's wind, it's solar. So it's all these areas that leads into a green transition, and they are linked to the economy for sure.
Now let's turn to the topic of the silver economy. The silver economy promotes the development of cultural elderly tours and elderly care training. Every household has elderly members, and aging is an inevitable part of life. Globally, demographics are undergoing profound changes, with China's aging population steadily increasing. Currently, the number of people aged 60 and above in China has surpassed 300 million, and this figure is expected to exceed 400 million by 2035. ULA recently arranged a program on elderly care training, which facilitates the bilateral cooperation between China and Finland in vocational education. How did it start and how is it progressing? Let's listen for more details.
What many people don't know, my background is completely in social and healthcare. So I did my master's also there. So I've been running these healthcare facilities and social facilities all my life. I was thinking, because Finland is actually the second oldest population in the world. China is now the huge population and is getting older rapidly. So we in Finland, we faced this problem before China, and our solution is the education school dedicated to elderly care. So it's super comprehensive, and it's actually a very unique education in the whole Europe. So then I got this idea, what if I import this to China?
In recent years, China and Nordic countries have broadened their trade and economic cooperation with an expanded scale and improved quality. High value-added products such as computers, communication, equipment, pharmaceutical, ships, autos and their parts constitute the mainstay of bilateral trade. According to official data, for China, the Nordic countries are important sources of foreign investment and destinations for outbound investment.
Europe and China should work even closer together, especially now in the new geopolitical context. That will benefit Europe, it will benefit China, it will benefit our customers and ultimately the quality of life of people around the world.
As our guests have said, more and more Nordic companies are focusing on the Chinese market, and China and Europe should work even closer together. Let's look forward to a brilliant future of bilateral and multilateral cooperation for a shared future. Thanks for your watching. I'm Lucia in Beijing. See you next time.